Timber! What you doing, dog? Come here. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 2 of my new video series here. And this is probably, at least for the time being, it's going to run at the same time that my Season 1 is, while I show videos of more of my cast iron searching and restoration. I'm going to be mixing in another series of videos that are going to be more about homesteading and DIY and miscellaneous other things, because I've got a lot of interesting little things going on and I'd like to share with you all. Some people seem interested. So at this point in time, I'm going over my footage that I've shot, and I'm at a point where I'm up at my place in the country, and I've decided that I want to put up a metal building, a big storage building it's large enough that I can do a bunch of different things with it. It gives me some utility. I can shuffle things around. I can consolidate stuff. And so I've always wanted to do that, and I thought this is a good opportunity to take what little money I've been scrounging up and put it towards something that will create some equity for me by adding another building on my property and also give me some utility. So that was the objective. Now, what originally got me to do this was trying to maintain some rural property is not easy, especially when you've got something like a cabin in the woods, right? And there's trees and all kinds of stuff, and just nature. It's constantly a battle between you and nature, trying to see who's going to win. And if you're not there 24/7, nature will kick your butt. So I've had to, kind of fight off various things, and the forest just keeps growing and growing and growing, and also it also keeps decaying. And one of the problems that I've run into is that there's a whole bunch of these oak trees that have been hovering over my buildings, and they have started to get sick because mainly of climate change. There's a certain kind of a beetle called the emerald ash borer beetle, and it has gotten into the trees, and it's caused them to kind of die from the inside out. Unfortunately, there's no treatment for this, and because the winters are getting more mild, where they might normally, their numbers might have been died off in the winter, they're coming back stronger, and they're living longer, and they're multiplying more. And we're seeing a lot of old growth oak trees all across middle America begin to be affected by this beetle, and they're starting to die. I don't know really what's going to happen about it, but I do know, at least in the short term, I have to do something about some of these trees around my property. I want to clear enough of an area so there's a fire break, and I want to keep some of these trees that are dying from falling onto the roofs and damaging things further. And of course, insurance won't pay to remove the trees, but they will probably pay if they fall on the house, which is unfortunate. I'd prefer that not to happen. So I've been trying to figure out the best way of dealing with these trees. Now, I called a tree guy out, and he wants $5,000 or $6,000 to just cut down a few trees. But then, since I also wanted to put a building up back here, I thought maybe I can kill two birds with one stone. Maybe I can find somebody who can help level and create a platform for the building and also help with the trees. So I talked with a whole bunch of different people, and I'll be sharing with you my costs, and I'm going to act as general contractor on this, and I'm going to coordinate everything and hire different people to do different aspects. And I'm going to do it in phases because I don't really have all the money. I have enough money right now to at least pay for the leveling. So that's what we're doing right now. So I've made arrangements with a guy, and I met with a whole bunch of different people. Some people were very attentive and got back with me. Some people just didn't even reply back. And I talked with them and got different quotes. And I settled on this one guy, and he's turned out to be a really good person, did a really good job, went above and beyond the call of duty. Can't recommend him enough. This is a guy that basically kind of went into business for himself and started his own little company, and he comes out and he'll do all kinds of work. So he has the equipment to level the thing and take down the trees. So he gave me one price to do both. And of course I said, that's awesome, but there's one requirement. You got to at least let me play with the excavator for a minute, because I've always wanted to get in one of those things and play around. So I got a chance to do that, and I'm going to share that with you in a future episode as well. Those things are so cool. Anyway, what you see here is a time lapse of the initial start of the project, where we bring out the excavator and we're clearing the land, mainly clearing the trees. Now, this is not going to be a high-end deal where they're going to cut the trees up and cart them away. This is going to be more of a situation where because I have limited funds, he's just going to push the trees down and stack them in a pile of hardwood and a pile of pine. And then I'll just hack away on them over time and try to figure out what to do. I've also heard that there may be some people that are into the logging industry that might just want to come get the wood for free. I don't know. But if you have experience with this, let me know what you think. I tried to reach out to some logging companies, to see if they were interested in removing the trees, because the trees are not bad right now. They could be used for wood and lumber, but I couldn't find anybody that really wanted to come out to just do 1 or 2 truckloads worth of trees. It didn't seem like it was worth it to them. But if you know otherwise, let me know. So what we're seeing here is this time lapse where they're just kind of moving the trees, and I learned a lot about this process. If you have a heavy enough excavator, you can actually take these trees down. You have to kind of dig along the sides, and the roots don't always go really, really deep. They're relatively shallow. So if you get a heavy excavator and you push on the tree, you can just kind of push it down, and then you dig around the base of it, and you can break the roots up and then just pull the whole thing up and pick it and toss it somewhere. And it was pretty neat to see this happen. So this was my first experience being in the middle of a project with this kind of heavy equipment that I was directing. So it was fun and I enjoyed it. So at the end of the day, my costs for doing this, I think, was between $6,000 and $7,000, but it included a number of other things, as you'll see. We'll go into all the different parts of the job.
So today I am not hunting cast iron. I am chopping up wood, and I'm working in the National Forest, clearing out of some space for a project space. So quite a bit of work here, chopping up this wood and splitting it. So for those wondering why I'm having to clear a lot of trees around the property, these oak trees look like they're okay. So here's the outside of one of them that I've cut down. But if you look on the top, you can see these beetles. They bore right through the middle and kill the tree from the inside out. The idea for this new addition to the property is right here there's going to be a driveway. It's going to come through here and it'll kind of wind right up here. And so this whole area is now being cleared for a big metal building. Big trees. And so this will all be cleared away. There's the trees that are left. So, one last trip into town before the big storm hits. Supposed to be some bunches of snow and ice on the roads. So, gonna pick up a few little supplies. Well, woke up this morning and we have well over a foot of snow. The whole area has just turned into a winter wonderland. It's really pretty. And where I'm at, it doesn't snow that often. So this is unusual, but it may snow once or twice a year. Really beautiful. So here's another project that I'm working on while I'm I'm out here in the country, and these are mushroom logs. I'm taking these oak trees that I have recently cut down, and I'm inoculating them. So I drill holes in there and I fill them full of mushroom spores of different types of mushrooms, blue oyster, chestnut, shiitake, reishi, and stuff like that. And then we're going to let these sit for about a year and inoculate the logs, and then eventually set them up, and they should start to sprout mushrooms if all goes well. I'm going to be experimenting with different techniques because I've looked online, and there's all different kinds of approaches. People say whether you use the wax on the ends or you don't, whether you keep them off the ground or on the ground. And so I'm going to do a little bit of everything just to see what works. And unfortunately, this is a little bit of a long-term project. It's not going to immediately happen like next week, but I will keep you informed. So be sure to visit the YouTube channel, YouTube/Wisdom Studio, and we'll see how this comes along. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and enjoying the video series and supporting me thus far by subscribing and clicking like and all of that. And if you want to catch me on TikTok, sometimes I have previews of what I'm working on that I haven't published lately. That's at TikTok/@WisdomStudio. And if you're on Facebook, look up the group Vintage Cast Iron Hunting, Restoration, Identification, and Sales. And until next time.